What if I told you one of the most unlikely stories in Flyers training camp wasn't about a high draft pick or a flashy scorer, but a seventh rounder from Latvia who spent nearly a decade fighting just to stay on the radar? Rodrigo Ābols is the definition of perseverance. Drafted in 2016, passed over by one organization, and bouncing between leagues in Sweden, carrying his national team to history, and now here he is in Philadelphia, fighting for a fourth-line job in 2025. This isn't just a hockey career. This is a survival story. And today, we're breaking down all the chapters of Rodrigo Ābols' incredible journey to the Philadelphia Flyers. So stick around. In 2016, Rodrigo Ābols became one of the few Latvians to hear his name called at the NHL draft. Selected in the 7th round, 184th overall by the Vancouver Canucks, he entered pro hockey as a long shot, a skilled forward with size. Standing 6'4", he was considered a project pick. Scouts liked his combination of vision, puck protection, and two-way responsibility. But the knock was consistency. For Ābols, though, this was validation. The NHL had noticed him. Before being drafted, Ābols spent time in the WHL with the Portland Winterhawks and later the Acadie Bathurst Titan in the QMJHL. These seasons were crucial for his development. The North American game forced him to play faster, be more physical, and adapt to smaller ice. He didn't put up gaudy numbers, never eclipsing a point-per-game pace, but coaches valued his versatility. He could play center or wing, kill penalties, and bring defensive reliability. These years planted the seeds of the fourth-line role he now projects for in Philadelphia. After his junior years and brief AHL, ECHL stints, Ābols returned to Europe. He became a fixture in Sweden, first in Allsvenskan and then in the SHL with Örebro HK. In Sweden, he matured into a reliable two-way forward. His skating improved and his shot became more dangerous. He also grew into a leader on the ice. Playing against men allowed him to round out his game. While the NHL seemed distant, his performance overseas kept his name in pro hockey circles. Representing Latvia was always a point of pride for Ābols. He suited up for the national team at the World Championships, earning a reputation as a dependable forward who could match up against top competition. His breakout came at the 2023 IIHF World Championship, where Latvia stunned the hockey world by capturing bronze, the country's first ever medal at the tournament. Ābols' gritty, steady play earned praise, and the exposure put him back on the radar for NHL organizations. The Philadelphia Flyers, in the midst of their rebuild, sought depth and character players who could compete for bottom six roles. Ābols fit that mold perfectly. His size, experience, and international success made him a low-risk, high-reward signing. In 2024, the Flyers inked him to a contract, giving him his long-awaited second chance at the NHL. Unlike his Vancouver days, this time he was more polished, more confident, and ready to embrace whatever role was asked of him.
When you're on the ice, not a word really needs to be spoken. That was the beauty of being a Flyer.
I've played with a lot of great teams, a lot of great players, but that was the closest group of teammates I've ever played with.
In football, you need that quarterback to be special. In hockey, you need your goaltender to be special. And Pelle was just beginning to emerge as a player.
Pelle wanted so desperately to be a star in the NHL. It's what he wanted most.
Pelle Lindbergh. Thank you, Bernie.
By all accounts, Pelle was not a drinker.
He picked his spots carefully. He would drink, but to be impaired, intoxicated, very rare.
And then the next thing I know, all I seen was a white wall. I said, Pelle, there's a white wall. There's a white wall.
It was a horrific scene. The car was mangled
The headlight in front of Pelle had to be back 3 feet from where it initially should have been.
I read an article, you almost got into the Porsche. Is that true?
Not really. Me and Murray Craven lived 3 blocks from the establishment, so we just walked home.
Catching the wall right here in this corner, it was devastating.
And he went into cardiac arrest, and CPR was started immediately.
Talked to the police. I asked him, I said, is he going to be okay? And the police officer said, he'll be lucky to live.
Police officer asked us if we had to identify a body. And I remember looking at Murray, and Murray goes, I can't do it. My gut was turning, and I didn't know what to do.
And he passed away when I was holding his hand. You know,
That moment?
That moment, yeah. And so we were destined to be a team.
Pelle, I don't blame you. I never blamed you. I wish I could take that day back. And so many people you've touched in your life miss you.
Transitioning back to North America in 2024-25 wasn't easy. The pace of the NHL was faster than Sweden, and Ābols had to prove himself all over again. He split time between the Flyers and the Lehigh Valley Phantoms in the AHL, adjusting to the Flyers' systems while showcasing his versatility. He wasn't brought in to score. Instead, coaches valued his defensive work, his face-off ability, and his physicality. Each game was an audition for a bigger opportunity down the road. Ābols made his Flyers debut during the 24-25 season, officially becoming one of the few Latvians to wear the orange and black. While his minutes were limited, he played a smart, low-event style that coaches appreciate in depth players. He wasn't flashy, but he was reliable. Every shift was about winning board battles, blocking shots, and giving the Flyers honest, hard-working minutes. For fans, it was easy to root for a player who had battled so hard just to get to the NHL. When he wasn't with the Flyers, Ābols played key minutes for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. In the AHL, he had more offensive freedom, chipping in goals while serving as a veteran presence for younger prospects. The Flyers organization valued his leadership with the Phantoms, where he showed the same professionalism he displayed internationally. His ability to move between the AHL and NHL made him a valuable organizational piece during the transition years of the Flyers' rebuild. Fast forward to the 2025 preseason, and Ābols is suddenly one of the most talked about players in camp. He's played in every single exhibition game so far. Clear evidence that the Flyers coaching staff wants to get a good long look at him. Competing for a fourth-line role, he's showcasing the same traits that defined his career: size, responsibility, and work ethic. His path hasn't been glamorous, but now at 29, he's closer than ever to locking down a permanent NHL job. Earning a fourth-line spot isn't easy. Ābols is battling against younger prospects and other depth veterans hungry for NHL minutes. What sets him apart is his maturity and experience. He doesn't need to be the most skilled guy on the ice. He just needs to be dependable. His face-off ability, penalty killing, and willingness to play physical could give him an edge. The Flyers want their fourth line to bring energy and stability, and Ābols has those tools to deliver. Looking ahead, the Flyers see Ābols as a player who can bring value in the right role. If he cracks the opening night roster, he'll likely anchor the fourth line, providing size and defensive reliability. He won't be counted on for offense, but he could chip in timely goals while eating tough minutes. For a rebuilding Flyers team, he represents a low-cost, hardworking option who embodies the kind of culture that Danny Briere and Rick Tocchet have emphasized. Regardless of how long his Flyers tenure lasts, Rodrigo Ābols has carved out a unique legacy. From late-round pick to international medalist to battling for a roster spot in Philadelphia. His career is a testament to perseverance. He represents hope for players who take the long road to the NHL. For Flyers fans, he's the kind of underdog story worth rooting for, because every shift he plays is earned the hard way. Rodrigo Ābols may never be a superstar. He may never be the guy on the highlight reel or the jersey fans line up to buy on opening night. But he doesn't have to be. His story proves there's still room in the NHL for grinders, leaders, and underdogs who claw their way up the hard road. Whether he sticks with the Flyers this season or not, he's already shown what it means to fight for every shift. And in Philadelphia, a city that loves its underdogs, that fight might be enough to make him a fan favorite. So the next time you see number 18 on the fourth line, remember, you're not just watching a hockey player. You're watching one of the toughest journeys in the NHL finally pay off. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment. What do you think of Rodrigo Ābols? In the meantime, don't forget to keep it high, keep it wide. We'll see you next time on HW Hockey.